Hey guys, just wanted to give you a quick update to give you some helpful guidelines for the week for physical science. This video is not going to be super long. It's just going to kind of help maybe focus your attention on some of the things that you guys should understand for this week, as well as just review some of the major concepts from before. So what we've been looking at in our investigations so far is the relationship that charged objects have with each other. So activity 2, you guys looked at a tape lab and looked at how when you separated two top pieces of tape and two bottom pieces of tape, that they did different things with each other. So when you had a top piece of tape and a bottom piece of tape, they came together. And then when you had a top piece of tape and a top piece of tape, they pushed apart. And you looked at the idea that those pieces of tape behave very similarly to magnets. And hopefully you ended the week with a conclusion that the tape, when it's separated, somehow gained a charge. And when you bring two similarly charged objects together, they're going to push apart. When you bring two opposite charges together, they are going to come together. So as we are starting to build our knowledge of what makes some things stick together and other things not stick together, we are slowly progressing our way through to try to figure out what is it about the properties of elements or materials that allow them to stick. So again, you don't have the whole picture yet. We're slowly getting there, trying to piece together to get that aha moment of, oh, that's why it happens. So what you have right now is you have hopefully a good understanding of how charged objects relate to each other, so that when you have a positively charged object and a negatively charged object, you know that they will come together. Now, you don't know which charge is which yet, but that's what you should know at this point. What we're going to do for this week is look at most of the rest of the objects. So most objects you come in contact with do not have a charge. They're what we call neutral. They have the same amount of positive charge as negative charge. So we're going to look at what happens if you bring a charged object near to a neutral object. That's the main idea, the main question that we are going to be looking at for this week. Again, it's a slow process. We're not going to get all the answers by the end of the week, but hopefully you will start to slowly build your knowledge banks as we look at this big overall question of why do some things stick and other things don't. So one of the first things you guys are going to do is you are going to complete a lab that's going to involve a water bottle, some small pieces of paper, and your hand. I'm going to show you kind of an example of what it should look like with the hand, and it would look very similar with the pieces of paper. So for right now, you can look at this video to look at kind of how the lab should be done with the hand, but again, you will do the same process with the paper bits first. Okay, so what you guys saw was that when the bottle was charged with the wool, meaning it gained a charge of some sort, we don't know what charge it had, necessarily, we don't even know why yet, but when the water bottle gained a charge, you saw that when you put the hand near it, it brought it close together. And then with the paper bits, you might have noticed that, if you did it correctly, that the paper bits attracted to the water bottle. So what we're going to look at is why. Why did both of those things happen? You're going to be guessing, basically, and then we're going to be seeing how does your guess pan out. The bottom line is what we need to establish is that when you have a charged object near an uncharged object, they're going to attract. That's just the first major point. A charged object will always attract an uncharged object. So in the two examples, some questions that I want you to ask in terms of why is, did you charge the bottle? And did you charge the paper? And then what happened? In the second example, did you charge the bottle? And in the process of you charging the bottle, was the hand charged as well? So we're looking at the relationship of charged and uncharged objects. So again, the one of the main consensus or things that you should know is that a charged object will always attract an uncharged object. Now, we don't know why yet. We're going to be guessing, but that's one of the main things you guys should know. You should also know that when you have two neutral objects, nothing will happen. right? If I bring this near this, if it's not charged, nothing will happen. Okay, there's no charge, they're not going to attract, nothing will happen. So when I have two neutral objects, nothing will happen. When I have two charged objects, they could either attract or repel, depending on what type of charge they have. And then when I have a charged object and a neutral object, they're always going to attract. So again, those are the main concepts that I want you to know. And what you're going to be doing this week is making some predictions and drawing some models to sort of figure out why you think that is. Why do you think a charged object will attract a neutral object? What is it about the properties of those objects that cause that to happen? So remember, when you're drawing your models, which you're going to do for today a little bit, and then tomorrow for a little bit, when you're drawing your models, remember there's the 5 things that every model should have, right? There should be good observation. So I should see everything that you can physically see should be on your model. I should see some sort of relationship that shows why you think it happened. And I should be able to see a prediction for why. So if you're drawing, for example, the model of the bottle in the hand, in your drawing somewhere, I should see a prediction of why that happened. It might not be correct, but there should be some sort of prediction as to why you think it happened. So remember, it must be neat and include labels, all that stuff as well. So as you're drawing your models, again, just make sure that all 5 of those things are correct. Again, if you guys have any questions on what you're supposed to be doing, please let me know. I am going to post another video on Thursday that's going to look at a correct model of the bottle with the hand or the bottle with the paper bits after you guys make your own predictions, so you can't cheat. But Thursday, we're going to make another video that's going to talk about the correct model to start looking at the scientific reasons why, in this case, a charged object and an uncharged object attract, as we sort of put together our bigger question of why do some things stick together and other things don't. Okay, again, if you guys have any questions on what you're supposed to be doing, please send me an email. Miss you guys, and see you soon.